We're live, yo.
What's up?
Just gonna give it a minute.
For sure.
Oh, I'm gonna watch.
Oh,
I'm watching.
she's in. Diesel's starting to be chill, so that's good.
Oh, I'm gonna watch.
Do I hear meowing?
It's a bird.
It's a bird out there.
Oh,
Do we have a robin on our back deck that in the corner of it has laid an egg. There's no nest. It's just an egg sitting on hardwood
oh.
behind a
You
flower
live a
plant.
fabulous life.
I bombed Derek the other day.
What did it say?
It dive bombed me the other day. It attacked me.
Oh man, that's like my worst fear. I think anyone who knows me knows I'm deadly afraid of birds. Like,
Bird?
yeah, dude. One time a bird came into my house and I literally called non-emergency police. I did that. I wanted to share that with the Facebook world.
I once cried. We lived down in Florida, and there was a snake, like a garden snake, and a frog on our front porch. And I opened the door and I instantly started bawling, screaming at my mom that we needed to call 911 to come save us. Because, yeah, like it was a whole thing of me being deathly afraid, clenching my mom for dear life.
Oh.
I was 16 years old. No.
That was you were. This was last weekend.
Yeah, that was literally last week.
Oh, your poor mother.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we should just get started, huh? I think we got enough people in.
I'm ready to rock. Let's
Cool.
do this.
All right, you guys. So welcome to another live. This is my second live virtual hangout. And I've got my really good friend Derek with me today. Do you want to welcome Derek? Do you want to say hello to everyone and introduce yourself?
Yeah, how's everybody doing? My name's Derek. I own Packerland Crossfit, or I'm a co-owner of Packerland Crossfit. It's a local gym here in De Pere, Wisconsin. And actually, it was a long time coming to build it to where it is now. And I can't wait to share some of my experiences and hopefully maybe play a song on my guitar for you guys. And
Yeah.
hang out. Yeah.
Jack Brown Band, Chicken Fried,
Yes.
maybe.
Yes.
So I think one of the most, you're definitely one of the top 5 that I wanted to get on my podcast when I first started. And we've been trying to do this for a while too. I think the last time we had some pretty bad weather, so you could make it.
Yeah.
But I think maybe just to kind of let everyone kind of get a sense of our weird friendship, we should let them know kind of how did we get to know each other? We work together.
We work together. Yeah. We worked together in Wisconsin Rapids as case managers. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I just graduated school as my first job out of college. We were both young pups, just roaming, just trying to make a name for ourselves, you know, but we were, I think what really drew us together and actually creating a bond was that we always pushed the envelope.
Yeah.
And we tried to think outside the box and then outside of that box.
Yeah.
Because we knew there's one way to make change. And I think we're both on the same levels that you got to think of something nobody's ever done before. And then after you think of that, you need to do it and then refine and then do it again. You know what I mean?
I just want to share with everyone how intense we were. Like, we were so incredibly passionate. I think that's why I considered us like kindred spirits and we connected so quickly, was we did think outside the box and then some, but there were just times where I'm like, man, I need to like just take a moment here, because we were obviously work for nonprofits, so we didn't have a lot of money to come up with these we did a workshop together. And I just remember this one day you decided, I think out of nowhere, you just grabbed like a tissue box. Do you remember that day? You grabbed like a tissue box and you put a whole bunch of tissue on the floor or the ground, and you made everybody do this exercise.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Do you remember that?
Yes, we played landmine.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yes.
It was really fun though. But I mean, I think only you and I could come up with some pretty crazy workshops. So we had a lot of fun. We definitely did.
It was a fun way to work on communication skills, because the person was blindfolded.
Yeah.
And then we had to have somebody else direct them not to stand on a tissue. But I think I stood up in the middle of the class and took the box and just started throwing shoes everywhere, and nobody knew what I was doing.
Dude, you went rogue.
I went ab lib. I'm like, we need to spice this thing up a little bit, and this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, and you totally went rogue.
Yeah,
it was fun though. I think like I mean, I personally think a lot of people got a lot more out of what we tried to put together, even though they weren't. They were definitely new ideas, but I think the other day you mentioned, you're like, it was just so nice to be able to give them a voice, and they gave their own presentations and stuff too. So I don't know. I enjoyed working with you. We got really close through that job and stayed in touch. So
yeah.
So I want to start out with a quote, and I sent you this, but this is not the quote I sent you.
Okay.
So, listen, this is a quote from 2014, Derek, you guys. So if you are having a stressed out day, just remember the sloth. They haven't done shit and haven't gone extinct. I'm sure you can afford to take a nap. Two questions. First of all, who do you think you are? Second of all, why would you choose sloths? Sloths are the cutest. They're the best.
It's not a bash against sloths. No, I have all the respect in the world for sloths. Like they literally, basically it came down to two things. Number one, I love sloths. Number two, how have they not gone extinct? Because they grow moss on their body. Maybe it's a defense. Maybe it's a defense tactic because nobody wants to eat like gross moss. But I mean, that basically came from I guess in U.S. society, like all we do is go, right? Stress, high strung. Like that's our life. It's not going to kill you to take a step back and appreciate what you've done and take that. Like send some love, send some positive vibes, and live your life. Don't just push for something and keep pushing for something and let things fly by. Like take a moment, like a sloth.
That is one thing I do love about you too, is like you definitely have always a jam-packed schedule, but you always take the time to like enjoy the moment. I could probably do a little shout out to Whitney, right? Whitney, would you agree with me on saying that Whitney is Derek's girlfriend and she's chilling with us today too.
She's a random person.
His roommate.
Yeah. She's my roommate. She's my roommate. She cooks from time to time too. It's pretty cool.
Winnie, would you say that that's a really good quality of Derek, though?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to come on camera and say hi? Probably not, huh?
All right.
She's gonna move Diesel. Diesel, move.
Diesel.
Oh, special appearance by Diesel too.
Yep. Yeah. Little's coming over here too. Hey guys.
Whitney.
Okay, so now that you're on camera, we need the deepest, darkest secret that you can give us on Derek.
Ooh.
Just kidding.
I was like, the floor is yours.
Oh, okay.
No, I just get done.
Let's do this before we get into this Q&A here.
I love Q&As. I think we should just start that instead.
Okay, well, you come back and you think about a deep, dark secret about Derek to share with the world.
Tell you one right now.
Oh, sweet.
Right. Go ahead.
Derek likes to poop with the bathroom door open, and he likes to make sound effects while he's pooping.
I'm a child.
He's real dramatic.
You need like a secret though, like this is well known.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's well known.
All right, no, but for real. Okay, so I will start with this quote. It's kind of a longer quote, and this was something that was from 2015, Derek. Okay. Most of us operate out of a manifestation of what we believe is possible for ourselves and believe this is all we will ever get in life. This happens subconsciously based on our past experiences, observations, and history. I want to tell you to change. Starting today, operate out of your imagination. See a larger vision for yourself. I want you to see yourself doing what you love. I want you to see yourself succeeding in an area that brings value and meaning to your life. Changing your belief system isn't easy, but starting your day by waking up, talking to yourself positively will influence that change. A brighter tomorrow begins today. It's possible. So I kind of even shortened that. It's a very long quote there. So I want you kind of just to unpack that, because I think this is really a core of who you are as well. And I think you bring it to every facet of your life, especially your business. Can you unpack that and kind of just tell us what are some of the strategies that you would give to somebody out there?
Yeah. So basically this quote has come from many YouTube videos of watching Les Brown. Shout out to him. He's a motivational speaker. Love
back
him.
to our old days too, when we did a lot of Les Brown.
Yeah. Love him. But a lot of it too comes from my background in psychology. I was a psychology major, and just understanding the human mind and basically how we motivate ourselves and how we keep ourselves going. It's really easy to fall back on the same stuff that you've been doing over and over and over again, because that's just where our mind goes, right? It's just the path of least resistance. So what we do is we, instead of pushing ourselves, we just get comfortable, right? So you're comfortable in wherever you're at. And this just happens, again, subconsciously. You don't even think about it. You're just like, oh, this is what I'm used to, right? But once you take a step back, and this is where like mindfulness comes in, yoga, if you're a yogis out there, they practice mindfulness all the time. And I've read books about it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But once you do that and you consider yourself a third party to your life, so there's your mind, there's you, and then there's your third party just watching stuff go on, you see that you are just in a routine half the time and you're just comfortable. But once you start pushing yourself outside the boundaries and telling yourself like, I can do this or I can do that, then you start surrounding yourself around people that also are like that, right? Yeah. And it brings in positive energy. And then it's easy to get caught up in the negative, but it's really hard to focus on positive, especially when you're just wired that way. So a brighter tomorrow can begin today just by simply just taking a minute, right? A minute to sit there and just see where you've come from and where you are now and where you want to go. So now you start thinking of what's possible for you and where you can go. And then you start just building a game plan around that. And then
yeah, I absolutely love that, because I think, again, we're pretty like-minded in that kind of aspect of things. For someone who's really struggling, I mean, I guess tell us what your self-talk is. Like, let's say, you know, obviously even with this COVID-19 situation, you guys having to repivot your strategy for your business. What does that self-talk look like for you specifically?
My self-talk is really different, because I do suffer from depression. And this is just recent. Like I, went to a therapist on medication now, thank goodness. But I mean, it was pretty much been, I would say, my entire life. It's just been this deep, dark pit that was in my mind, right? And it's not like, you never want to come to terms with it, because like you don't want to express it, so you just deal with it, right? So my version of dealing with it was always been an obsessive compulsion of whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it as best as I can, and then that's going to consume what I'm about.
Like that's your whole focus then.
Yeah.
For that time.
Yep. Yeah. So then, like, I was the kid growing up that would write. I remember on my ceiling, I was really into football. Like football was my jam. I wanted to do, I wanted to work out all the time. I wanted to get a scholarship and blah, blah, blah. So I would write little messages right above my bed. One of them was like, far beyond driven. One of them was, you are determined. Another one was, somebody's outworking you. Right. So then it just obsessed, like that was the constant thoughts going through my head, but there also was this dark side that was lingering there. Right.
Yeah. That were, so you like did you feel like you were suppressing that side of things though?
Yeah. You suppress it by doing other stuff. Right. And that's where a lot of diving deep into psychology came from, why I fell in love with it so much. And falling in love with mindfulness, like these just little tactics that you can do that I started practicing on myself. So there's this thing called ACT therapy, so action commitment therapy. And it basically just talks about, being present in the moment, knowing that you're not a part of your thoughts. So your thoughts are like a leaf falling into a river. You're not going to stop that leaf from falling, and it's just going to flow in one ear.
It's automatic. You can't control it.
You can't control it, right? A good example would be like, Sheng, go ahead and close your eyes for me.
You want me to do it now?
Yep, I want you to do it now.
Is there tissue involved? I'm just kidding.
No, there's no tissues involved. But I just want you to think of the first word that pops into your head, right? Mary had a little.
Wait, you want me to say it?
Yeah, I want you to say it.
Mimosa.
Oh my God. But you
super telling a plan.
Yeah, that's it. Right.
The next one was beer, and then
yeah, right. So what would be another one? Blondes have more
fun.
There you go. Right? It just pops in, right? That's the same way that happens with your thoughts. Like you can close your eyes right now and try not to think of anything. I guarantee you're gonna think of something. You can't control it. You can't control whether it's good, bad, ugly, whatever.
I really love that you tried to make this Mary had a little, and I'm like, mimosa.
She had a little mimosa, and it was Sunday morning, and she was partying at brunch. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what she was doing.
I thought it was a trick question, but okay. All right.
It was not a quick. I like where your mind's at though. You're thinking 2 steps ahead.
I'm thinking outside of the box,
yes.
right?
And then outside of that box, because nobody's thinking of mimosa.
Yeah.
Mary had a little lamb. Mary's like 13 years old, I'm sure. And now she's gonna become a raging alcoholic, and it was your fault. You put the mimosa in her hand.
Oh gosh. Sorry, Mary.
We don't have control of our thoughts, and that's cool, right? You just got to be the third party. You got to be a third party watching us, be comfortable with that, and just let your emotion, don't attach a feeling to your emotion, because emotions can be anything, right? If I said your heart rate's going crazy, your palms are sweating, what emotion is that?
Well, it sounds like an Eminem song to me, but
yeah, it does. But like, we don't know what emotion that is. It's just a physical response.
Yeah, it could be anxiety. It could be stress. Yeah.
Exactly. So we attach a feeling to it, right? So just let yourself feel your feels, and just know that whatever your values are, whatever you hold dear to your heart, just try to act in those values. I mean, that's pretty much what ACT is, and it's done wonders for me. It's helped me out a ton, and I just hope to share that message too. It helps.
So with that strategy, do you take it, I mean, if we were to look at, I go way back, when you first started with, just CrossFit or health and wellness in general, was that something that you embodied back then? Just that mindset?
Kind of. I mean, CrossFit taught me a lot of things about that. So when I got injured playing football, like I had concussions and whatever, and that was done. So then you're trying to find your identity and trying to figure out what you're about. And I knew I loved fitness, and I knew I loved working out, and that was a big part of my life, which was, again, another obsessive thing, right? I wanted to do this. I sort of just fell into CrossFit. Actually, shout out to Elvis Kransky, who I met in an Anytime Fitness, and he had a CrossFit gym in his garage. And one day at Anytime Fitness, like, hey, I'll just come to my garage. I'll show you. And I'm like, yeah, okay, easy.
Okay. First
of all, we just met, and let me just meet you at Anytime Fitness for a little bit. But yeah, and I found out what this was, and like, there's so many different things that I could do to conquer and work towards that. You're constantly felt with this feeling of defeat or something that you have to fail at. And I loved it. I mean, you're just dealing with failure constantly, and that just translates over to your own life. So when I started getting into CrossFit, like, I've noticed that it's making me become a stronger human mentally. And that's what drew me to it more than anything. It wasn't necessarily the effects of what it does to your body, like the weight loss and all that stuff. Like, that's a side effect. Yeah. But the biggest thing for me is the mental health component, right? I knew when I was doing it, I felt accomplished after. I felt like I did something. I felt like I was succeeding, but also failing. But when you failed and then you came in the next day and you did that movement or that skill and you succeeded, there is no better feeling. No better feeling.
So that was actually one of the questions I did have too, because you did a lot of competitions. I just remembered all the different competitions. You actually had one here, I think, in Chippewa maybe. But when you go and compete, like, how different is that from like when you're just preparing for something? Like, is it more mental, like you said, or is it really physically preparing your body, or both?
Both. I enjoy competition. I've always have. So when I found out you can compete in CrossFit, that was also a game changer. Like, now I can train for this competition. But the competition side and the wellness side are completely different. You get the same feeling for each, right? Succeeding, but this is a little more tasking. I like to actually use an analogy of, like, there is backyard football and then there's the NFL, right? Backyard football, you do not want to get hurt, right? You'd work out for it so you don't get hurt, but like, the ultimate goal is, it's not a profession. It's not your life. You have a different life. Whereas CrossFit competition, that is a quote unquote profession. So you're doing it to compete. So you're going to make sacrifices. The risk of injury is going to be there. So when I go into a competition or I'm training for a competition, I don't really do much of them anymore. I've taken that to a backseat because I focus on my business. But when when I was starting out, that was it. Like, right, that's what I wanted to do. So it also encompasses a little bit of your life, but your mindset going in has to be, I have to give my best, and that's all I can do, because you can't control anything else. It's only you out there on the floor. And I love that too, right? you have to control the variables in your corner. And those are your mindset, and your effort. That's it. Other than that, you got to let the cards lie where they lie. Because if you can't do it, like say if you can't lift that sort of weight or you can't do that movement, then you can't do it.
Right. And you can't control who else may be competing as well.
Exactly. And that is awesome. So I have had success with it, and it was awesome. And it was a great experience because you proved to yourself that you can do some things. So I would recommend it for anybody who's looking, for something, an outlet like that. And they have a whole bunch of different scales and divisions and stuff like that. But
I'm sure it just pushes you like past what you even think you can be pushed to,
exactly.
It just builds more confidence. And even, I'm sure even on times that you maybe didn't place first or whatever, I don't know how that feels, but I'm sure that when you don't win, that you still feel like, okay, I'm okay. And I'm just going to go out there harder next time and do better.
Yeah. You figure out what you need to work on.
Yeah.
Of course, celebrate your successes and what you did good, but like now you can go back. Like my mindset was always, I give myself 20 minutes to sulk, right? 20 minutes to sit there and feel bad for myself and be like, God, say whatever you want to say, get it out. Then after that, hey, this is what we're going to work on. This is what we're going to do. And we're going to develop a game plan, and we're going to give it our best effort next time.
Yeah.
So, and what's cool is like those skills you learn there are the same skills you can learn in, relationships, or you can put it into your job or whatever else you want to do. So the life lessons that you learn through CrossFit competitions is also another form of why I was addicted to it, why I still am addicted, why I love it so much. It just makes you a better person overall.
Yeah.
So.
And I definitely knew that. I mean, just even for how long I've known you now, like 6 years, I don't even know, like a while.
14
like
years?
It's always, what was that?
14 years.
Yeah. 29 years. It's literally always been like you bled CrossFit. Like it wasn't just CrossFit. I mean, music too and other things, but that was something that was super important to you. You always made time for it because it was intentional. It was purposeful. Like every day you knew you were going to train, and you were going to, you still obviously, you can, I laugh all the time because I'm like, man, you can go down, like get 4 burritos and eat them all.
The way I can eat, that's also legendary. I just want that for the record.
Yeah.
Nothing changed when I moved back to Green Bay. We used to go down this local Mexican joint named Los Arcos. We still meet there for lunch sometimes, but they would time me on how fast I could eat 6 tacos because I would just mow it down.
Of course.
Oh yeah. It's always a competition.
That'll never change, I'm sure.
Never.
But I mean, as you're talking about, some of the competition, I just remembered this one, and this might have been like a year or two ago, maybe even longer, because I think you've been open with Packerland 2 years now, right? Pretty close.
This would be our 3rd year. So 2 years open, our 3rd year. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. And I just remembered this one photo, and I don't remember who captured it, but it was obviously an homage to your father. And this was a legendary photo, but it was just you. I think you had like your face just buried into his t-shirt.
Yep.
Can you tell us about that moment and what that was like for you?
So that was actually in 2015. That was at CrossFit De Pere. They had a competition. That was the day after we buried my dad. So that was right when that was my first, they call it RX, so RX competition. And I just started CrossFit 4 months before that. So
wow.
My dad was always my biggest supporter in sports. Like he was always there, always. And in that year, he also battled with depression, and he took his life May 31st that year, 2015. And that week leading up to it, I had that competition coming up, and I was just caught in a pickle of like me wanting to do it, me not wanting to do it, and the day before we had my father's funeral, and on the way back, I just remember just thinking, what was I gonna do? Am I still gonna go through with this? Like, should I just lay low? But I just remember thinking, like, what would he want me to do? And if anybody ever met my dad, they would know that he would look at me like, it's either you're gonna do it and you're gonna suck it up, or you're just gonna back out, and lack of a better word, you're just gonna be a wuss, right?
Yeah.
So I ended up doing it, and that was the last event. So during that event, I had an old T-shirt of his that he gave to me. It was a Navy shirt. He would serve 25 years in the Navy, and so I took that shirt. I would lay it next to my box, so next to my lane, and he just gave him a front row seat, and he watched me. I thought he watched me throughout, and after every event, I would come off bawling my eyes out. But then that last one, I won the event, and as soon as I won, I just collapsed and I just fell right into the shirt, and I just remember just letting it all out, because I just wish that he was there to see that, because I know he would have loved it so much. So
sorry, I got disconnected.
no, it's good.
I got disconnected, but I mean, I definitely just want to add to that. I might have missed that last part there, but I just remembered too that we obviously were friends during that time, and it was a really difficult time. But you honestly, like, you took 1 week off of work and you came back and you just gave your all to everyone, like every single person. It was honestly insane. Like, I've just never seen anybody be able to do something like that before. So it was really inspiring for me, for sure, because I mean, again, 1 week you came back and you just gave everything you could to every single person that you served, and it was just insane. So I'm just gonna give me 1 second. I'm gonna try and get this back up again. So sorry everybody out there. I had a disconnect for some reason. I think Derek, you were on the whole time though.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. It just made mine go full screen, and I was like, oh, hi, Sheng.
So I guess just kind of getting back into it. So obviously, just to fast forward, you were obviously at a corporate job. You decided that this wasn't really maybe the way you wanted to help people. And so you decided you would start your own CrossFit business. And I knew too before, because we both actually left Wisconsin Rapids. And I remembered us talking like, man, let's like start a business. Let's do like a life coaching business or something together, And you did actually end up going through with it and opening up your own CrossFit gym. Tell us kind of what that process was like, and how difficult was it for you to walk away from your corporate job?
Well, this might sound bad, but it wasn't that difficult. The craziest thing is, once you have a passion for something, we have a passion for helping people. I thought the corporate job was going to give me the best avenue to do that, and it turned out it just wasn't working out the way I thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I knew
it wasn't
that
maybe as fulfilling as you wanted it to be.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I loved the people I met. I loved helping as much as I could. But it got to the point where I needed to find an avenue for myself, right? Mm-hmm. And I knew CrossFit gave me that avenue, so I can help them out. Not only with fitness, like I said before, is just it's a side effect. Right. The biggest thing you can do for anybody, I think, in CrossFit is help them out mentally, mm-hmm. right? So the feeling you get when you're done, right? So I knew this was going to be it. I didn't know how, but it was going to happen. So what I did is just randomly put 2 weeks in to my job, and I just said, the best way, what's that saying? The best way to succeed is through desperation. Mm-hmm. And I just put 2 weeks in, and I'm like, I'm going to figure it out, right? Yeah. I'm just going to figure it out. And whatever happens, happens. I mean, I had a coaching gig lined up.
Yeah.
That didn't pan out. At least as many hours coaching that I thought I was going to get. So I was like, well, it's either now or never. So I just started developing game plan, started developing a business plan, put together, what I thought I wanted to be like. And next thing I know, things started falling through on some investors. And then after that 2 weeks, I think it was in September. And then by January, I was ready to look for a building and open my doors. So
wow.
October, November, December. So 3 months, right? Yeah. And I just did it. And then I started posting videos on our page of me in my basement, giving tips and tricks.
Now it's your basement.
Yeah, it was my basement. And then, oh no, not here. It was at a different place. Then we opened, and then I partnered with Ty and Hillary. Cannot thank them enough for everything they did. I brought crazy
Shout
idea.
out to your partners, man.
Yeah, dude, I brought this crazy idea to them. Hillary was pregnant. Ty was working 40 hours, and they're like, "Yeah, man, let's do it." And we just did it, and we used their garage as our opening space. Yeah, it was just a crazy time. I mean, it sort of just happened. I put myself there, and I was listening to a lot of Les Brown and doing a lot of self-help books and like a lot of motivational stuff. And I was like, this is the best way to do it. It's either now or never. I don't want to wait a year until things are right, because they're never going to be right. You're always going to think of an excuse on why you shouldn't do this or why you shouldn't do that, because of this, because of that, things, right? It just do it. It's either you're going to do it, like my dad said, it's either you're going to do it or you're not. It's plain and simple. So I just put myself in a situation where I had to. And
like you had no choice, no plan B. You just had to figure it out.
Plan B. My plan B was, it's either I'm going to, I got a bar backing job at a local restaurant to try to supplement some income while I was coaching up for those 3 months. I was substitute teaching wherever I could for those 3 months. I got my CISA 6. So like all that stuff is like, yes, I had these little minor jobs, but at the end of the day, it's like, all right, I don't really have a plan put out yet, but I know I'm going to have to think of it real quick. Otherwise I'm going to be SOL, you know? That's kind of how it just sprung. And Ty and Hillary were there. My mom helped out a ton. I just had a lot of the right people in my corner, and able to help me out through the way. I mean, if anybody says, if anybody ever says that they built something, you know, without the help of anybody, one, I think they're probably lying. There's got to be somebody there who supported you and helped you. And two, you are lying, because somebody has helped you along the way.
No matter what, you're a liar.
No matter what, you're lying.
Now, I do want to add to, like, I've been following you guys since your inception of opening your doors and things. And one of the things that I thought was super attractive about your guys' business model was you guys are incredibly inclusive. You guys include everyone of all shapes, sizes, ages. I mean, you guys, I think that's probably in part with your partners as well, because they work a lot with children, right? And you guys did like a children's boot camp, and I seen that you guys post photos of people of all ages. So I think that's one thing that really, is incredibly wonderful about your business model and what you're putting out there. But what are some other things that you think makes your gym different?
I think the number one that makes us different is we want the individual to succeed full-heartedly. Like, we care about you. We have this phrase that we always say, it's called Packerland fam. And when we say something like that, we honestly mean it. I think one way that really shows that is during this lockout, we have no equipment left in our gym. We gave it out. Like, we let people rent it out. We let them, take what they needed. Just because we want to be there with them. We want them to continue this fitness journey, because it's only going to help out with your mental state when you're stuck at home, right? So we want you to succeed more than anything. And we want you to feel like you're welcome. We want you to feel like you are a part of something bigger than yourself. Because research shows, and me being a psychology major and Ty being a psychology major, and that background that we have, it's when you're a part of a pack or you're part of a group, you're going to be a stronger individual because those people care about you, right? And when somebody cares about you and wants you to succeed and is in your corner, I mean, it's limitless on what you could do, right? When you walk in, we're not going to tell you that your dreams and your goals are stupid, you're never going to reach them. I mean, we're going to be honest with you on how hard it's going to be to get there, but we're going to be here every step of the way, right? Here's my phone number. Whenever you need me, call me.
Yeah.
And
that was one thing too, that I definitely feel it, obviously when I talk to you guys, but even just through your posts, like how valuable each and every single one of your members are to you. Like, them inside out, their families, exactly what their goals are, and you meet them where they're at, because everyone's at different levels of their fitness game, and all of that does come down to how well you connect with them. So I guess just to kind of dovetail off that, how would you describe your And you kind of already touched on this, but how would you describe your coaching style?
Really, really upbeat, goofy, really, really freaking goofy.
Yeah, you were literally one of the funniest guys. Like, I think we've had just sidebar, but you and I have just literally laughed so hard before we were like crying and our stomachs are hurting. Just because I think that's how you connect with people, is through humor, you know, and that's how I connect with people too.
I mean, I am the first person to make fun of myself first. I mean, let's face it, I can make fun of myself all day, but that's kind of, I bring that into my coaching style because half the time I'm just talking to them, right? I'm talking to the people in the class. You know, yes, I want everybody that walks into my class to take away one thing that they learned, right? So I will break stuff down. I'll make sure it's digestible information for you. But then
you educate them as well, then, as part of your
we're talking about, I'm always the first one to explain why we're doing something, right? From my experience, especially in CrossFit, since there's no regulations on how a CrossFit gym should be run, right? There's no standard. We wanted to set the standard. That's one of our business. That's in our business plan. We have rules, and this is how we are supposed to run a class, right? Rule number one is you have to acknowledge everybody in the class at least 3 times. Say them by their name. Say hello. Say goodbye. I get so disappointed in myself when, like, we're in the middle of a transitioning class, like, right? Our 5:15 a.m. class has sometimes 15 people in it, right? And then our 6:15 class a.m. has like 10 people walking in and out. So they're talking with each other. And I'm trying to start the class. I really get disappointed in myself when I don't say goodbye to every single person that walks out. Like, I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll make sure whoever's walking out, and I'll say them by their name, like, hey, have a great day, right? So that means more to me than, even than anything, right? I want to make sure that they're seen, they're heard. That's I think that's what really defines my coaching style. Is I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you. And you know what? On top of that, we're going to do a little bit of fitness. I'm going to teach you things here and there. But more so than anything, I'm going to create an experience for you where we're going to be like,
really, really aim to connect. Like, just knowing you and every situation that you're in, you're really yourself. Like, you aim to connect with people, no matter who they are, no matter where they come from. Like, that's always been one of your deepest values that I obviously super appreciate and I really respect. But I can see how that can translate into your coaching style. And then on top of that, how much more meaningful it would be to maybe go to your gym versus another gym, because people develop relationships with you over time and you see their growth and you help their growth.
Well, I want people to see the difference, right? We've had people like drop-ins from all over, right? And after a class that they've had with me, they come up and stop me and say, oh my God, like blah, blah, blah. Like I'm not one to talk about myself.
I know you can't take compliments too, you guys.
It's pretty hard.
One thing is you cannot take compliments. I've complimented you before and you're just like, okay, like you can't take compliments.
It's really tough. Yeah. But they'll tell me after about how they've liked it because of an experience and they've really felt included. And they'll tell me, like, at their box, they've never felt that. So that means a lot to me. So I love it when drop-ins come in. I love giving them the experience of what it's all about. And I've had members at my gym that go drop into a different gym when they're on vacation or they're on travel, and they'll be like, wow, it's so much different here. Like, it's just like, yeah. So that's what we aim for, right? We want to be this level and create it as an experience and make you feel included, as opposed to just running some class where, like, all right, move your arms like this, and this is our workout, and have fun, right? No, it's an hour. I want it to be the best hour in your day. I want you to want to come back for more.
Yeah.
Right. That's what it's all about. And that's going to create the results because you're going to be consistent. That's going to create the relationships. That's going to create the habit. That's going to make
accountability.
Yes. That's going to keep you accountable. Right. It's not necessarily your programming. It's not necessarily how hard you're kicking somebody's butt. Bottom line is consistency. How many times can I keep you coming back? And that's relationships. And that's being authentic, and that's being genuine, and that's caring about the individual. And that's our business model. That's our coaching style. That's what I preach to my coaches. And I think that's what sets us apart more than anything.
I love that. And I can definitely agree to that as well. I think, again, following you guys, and I'm not anywhere near you guys. I'm on the opposite side of Wisconsin. I'm still rooting for you guys because I'm like, holy man, you guys really invest in your members. Like, even during this whole lockdown, like you mentioned earlier, you're still so invested in people's results, and you're giving out free content, and you're doing everything you can to keep people just accountable, especially if you're quarantined at home. So that actually kind of leads me to my next question. We had somebody also come in and they commented and asked a question. What's an easy exercise to do from home? So that's kind of one of the things that I had too, was what advice would you give to someone regarding fitness right now, just being quarantined at home? And for beginners, both beginners and people who maybe are used to working out every day.
Yeah, so there's two different paths, I suppose, that you can go down. So number one, if you're not very active or you're really new to the scene of fitness or new to the scene of working out, beautiful. Like, the best thing you can do is just try to get into a routine, whether that be setting an alarm on your phone for 6 p.m. every night to stand up and go for a walk for 30 minutes, beautiful. Start there. Whether it be doing, at 6 p.m. or whatever it is, wherever you want to set to, that you're going to do 50 sit-ups and 50 push-ups, beautiful. Start there, right? It depends on where you're at. But if you're a little bit more experienced, right, there's another path you can go down, and that's a little more advanced movements, right? Just looking around your house and just being creative with what you have, right?
Like your dog, for instance.
Yes, like I've lifted up my dog Willow, who is 20 pounds, and squatted her. Like, that's just what you do, right? But there's a cool thing. It's called a Tabata, and that's exactly what we did in our live workout. That was at 5. You can check our Facebook group. We still have our Facebook post. We have that live video on there. I explain some movements, but it's called a Tabata. So it's only 4 minutes total of work, and it's 20 minutes of work, or 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. So it's like interval style. And it's 8 rounds, which totals up to being 4 minutes total. And you can pick any movements you want. So for example, we did jumping jacks, air squats, push-ups, and burpee, right? So now you're just going to do that. 2 rounds of each, 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, get a good sweat on, boom, done for the day.
Nice.
Right? So, I mean, it's really easy, simple stuff that gets your heart rate going and spiked, that is going to release the endorphins. That's going to make you feel good, make you feel accomplished. And then on top of that, because you worked out, now you're going to probably make a healthier choice for lunch, make a healthier choice for dinner, because it's like a guilt complex. Well, I worked out, now I don't want to ruin it, right?
Yeah. So
the effect of that 4-minute workout now carries on throughout your day. But the biggest thing, again, is holding yourself accountable, and that's creating the habit.
Sure.
And I'm actually going to be coming out with a 21-day challenge, mindfulness challenge, to help create those habits. So be on the lookout for that.
I will, because I'll need that, actually.
Yes,
actually, I do want to mention. So obviously, my husband hiked the AT last year, and that was like really one of the, I think I really spent a lot of time being mindful in every facet of my life, but definitely sometimes physical, I'm not there yet. But I mean, definitely seeing your easy ways of just starting and just getting up and doing something, like that helps me a lot. But last summer when Garrett was gone, I worked out so much. I lost like 18 pounds, you know? Yeah. And it was really just me, kind of what you said, like just starting small. Like I just would go on walks by myself, listen to music. Then I would start to hike by myself. And then I started getting people around me to do it too. And I have a lot of friends that we were all doing this fitness challenge thing through my work, but it really means a lot when you start to get into a routine and you just do it. I mean, it's not super glamorous, but it's certainly, once you kind of get into it, it's actually a really fun thing that you do for your health. And it's like your alone time too sometimes. So that's awesome.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a tumbleweed, right? You just got to start. And what people also don't understand too is when you walk, I totally get it though. I totally get when you walk into a CrossFit gym, it's so freaking intimidating.
Yeah.
It's scary. Totally. That's why we do what we call a no sweat intro, where we meet with people one-on-one just to talk to me or talk to Coach Ty. And we work with people one-on-one to start. Because I mean, that's just going to get you into a routine, get you comfortable. But when people look at somebody like myself or look at my girlfriend, Whitney, who's been doing CrossFit for 3 years and I've been doing CrossFit for 6 years, we have those routines in place. Like it's already a part of our life. So we didn't just, stand up like, oh, this is what we're going to do now. Like, and this is a process, right? It took some time, and you need to allow that time and not defeat yourself, because you're starting somewhere and you're doing something great. So the results are going to come, but as long as you get going, just like I love it that you said, when Garrett was gone and you were doing that workout for yourself and what you lost, but it probably, when you were doing it, you weren't even thinking about losing 18 pounds. You were doing it, I think, because it made you feel good.
Yeah.
Right?
And honestly, it was a stress reliever too. Like it was just nice to have, because I didn't really appreciate this is a sidebar now. I didn't really appreciate a lot of my like alone time until I started working out and walking on my own, listening to my own music, and just like, I get bored easily. So I would switch like what I'm doing every day. Like I might go on a track at like a high school nearby. I might go on a hike. I might go on a different trail or something, and it was something that was just for me. So it was really personal, but yeah, the weight loss was definitely good, and it definitely made me want to make better decisions.
Do more.
Got to get back into that though. So I'm going to hold myself accountable after this. And I think it's just getting up and just doing something to start. Yeah.
And another cool part, what you said too, is like you get bored easily. So you changed it up.
Always.
You literally just mentioned what CrossFit is. Every day is different, because nobody wants to go to the gym and just do like, all right, we're doing bicep curls again. Right? You're doing full body workouts that are different every single day. So you're not going to get bored. So that's what I love. What you like, that's so cool. Like you didn't want to get bored. So you switched up where you're walking and what you were doing. Same philosophy to CrossFit. We switch up what we're doing every day because, hey, we're getting a full body workout on. We're going to do something different, and it's going to be fun. Hip.
Keeps you invested.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We do have a couple questions that came in. I think they're all kind of similar. So which CrossFit exercise is your favorite, and which is your least, and why? That's one. And then the other one, I think it's sort of the same, but not really. What is some simple CrossFit exercise for someone who doesn't want to lose too much weight, but just want to tone
up? My favorite CrossFit movement has to be, I don't even call it a CrossFit movement. I'll call it more foundational, but just a back squat. So setting a barbell on your back and squatting. I used to hate it, but the more I did it, the more I do it. I mean, I just did it today or this morning, and it's so addicting because you can see your progress the more weight you can do and the better you feel. So I love back squatting. Any kind of squat, really. Front squat.
And that's like to tone like your
legs, like strengthen your legs. Yep, strengthen your legs, strengthen your core.
The glutes.
Yep. So, but the best thing you can do for toning is lifting weights. So toning is a cool word that I think the fitness industry put on, because people always think lifting weights gets you bulky, but toning basically comes down to burning fat and gaining muscle, right? So you're changing your body composition, and that's why you're starting to get tighter. So the flab is converting to muscle, and that is two parts, right? It's lifting weights, doing a lot of reps, right? But doing them safely and correctly. But then also on the side of that, making sure you're not overeating, making sure you're eating the right things. And that's what's going to give you the results really, really quickly. Especially if you're new to the game of fitness, because the biggest gains that we see are the people who are very sedentary and then start to lift weights. They don't necessarily see the weight loss, but they see the inches drop. And that's just a good indication that your body composition's changing, or you're toning up, right? You're just losing fat, gaining muscle. So anything that's lifting weights, full body movements, squats are beautiful, deadlifts, overhead strict presses, snatching, cleaning, these full body movements, because that engages all of your muscles instead of just your quads or just your biceps or just your triceps. So I think that's the best thing you can do is squat. Squats and deadlifts are the best thing you can do.
Nice. And I think Hillary just came in too. She says, hey.
Hey, Hale.
Okay. What was that?
Hillary Krieger?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's my business partner. She's also a huge shout out. She's doing some really awesome stuff too. Be sure to check her out. I guess she'd be like an influencer now, but she helps people start their own businesses too. So.
And they have their own podcast too, don't they?
Behavior Change Collective. Check them out. They do some really, really good stuff.
Got to have a plug-in for them. So one of the things too is with this whole COVID-19 happening, and just now with the breaking news on Thursday that we're obviously going to be quarantined for another, the stay-at-home order has been extended for another month. What do you guys plan on doing? Are you guys just going to continue to do virtual workouts and things, or kind of what is your plan, and how have you guys pivoted your strategy?
So we are starting to shift everything online, obviously with Zoom and stuff. But the biggest thing is keeping people engaged and keeping them accountable. So we have two plans that we've issued to that. And the first one is I talk with my coaches a lot, and we try to do individual follow-ups with everybody. So that is either a text, an email, a phone call, whatever it is, 1 to 2 times a week, right? Mm-hmm. We want to see what we can do better to help them succeed if they aren't, doing the workout, right? Doing the workout that we do over Zoom, or doing the workout we do over Facebook Live, right? So the second piece of that is doing challenges. People love challenges. So we just had a bingo card that we're just starting to finish up. Shout out to Aaron and Shannon, who took first and second. We still have third that's up for grabs, but simple ways like that. We're going to be doing another challenge coming up. Like I mentioned before, the mindfulness challenge. So that's another way to help people to stay engaged. And we're looking at different avenues too, to provide a better resource for people to come to. So by that, I mean offering more custom programming or more additional programming for those who have more equipment. And then for those who we issued equipment for, right? So the biggest thing that makes a CrossFit gym, I think, also successful too, or the CrossFit model, is that when somebody comes in, they don't have to think. They have something written on the board and they get told what to do, right? So it's an hour, quick, bam, boom, done. So the more we can provide options too for people to do at home, the less they have to think and add more stress, is they just have to do it. So that's another plan that we're rolling out too, and starting in May. So yeah, I mean, you just got to get creative. I mean, you just got to think outside the box and try to be there for people as much as possible and hold them accountable. So.
And I do want to add to that, like you had just did this virtual workout right before our podcast, and that was focusing on I think what she does, is it more yoga, or what is it that she does? Yeah.
Yep. So she's Jen Star Movement Studio, does yoga.
Awesome. And that's one thing that I've seen a lot too from you guys, is you guys really look at all different health like perspectives. So you guys will add like yoga in. I think I've seen like physical therapists were added into. Why is a well-rounded approach so important? I actually want to shout out also, I see some of the behavioral modification too from your partner, because that's his background and working with kids and families. So tell us why that well-rounded approach is so important to you guys.
I wouldn't necessarily call it a well-rounded approach. I'd call it more of a holistic approach, because there's so many different facets that go into people's well-being, and that's what we're in the business of. We're in the business of people's well-being. We're not, I guess the way to put it is like, I'm not trying to help you get a six-pack and look sexy, right? I mean, that could be a side effect again, but I'm trying to help you become a better person. And I think it starts with caring for yourself. So the more I can include different avenues to help people out, right? With whether it's yoga, maybe yoga is your thing and CrossFit isn't. Beautiful. Hopefully I introduce somebody to that path, and I fully believe in what Jen's doing at her studio, and she's going to take care of you, right? Or maybe you have an injury that I don't know about too well, right? It's out of my realm. Then I'm going to refer you to a PT, Paramount PT, Dr. Brian Shepke. He's amazing, by the way. Paramount PT does great work. Their model is getting to know the person and helping them out on an individual level. So boom, I'm going to refer you to them. Maybe that's the best path for you. So it's sucking it up and knowing when what you're providing is not going to be their end all be all approach. You need to create these relationships in the community that's going to help them. Right. And just being okay with the fact that you're not a know-it-all, you don't know everything, and being comfortable with referring somebody to somebody else who can give them a better result or a better fit. So that's the biggest thing.
So it's really a holistic approach. Yes. By collaborating with others who obviously value the same things you guys do, because what you just described are these two other businesses or other, individuals and providers. What they do is they really focus on the individual as well. So
exactly.
I love that. So the last thing that I would kind of say here before I have a surprise for you. I think it's a sort of surprise. We're gonna play the Sheng Game, just because I know you missed me.
I'm really interested in what this Sheng Game is because I don't remember ever playing this. You said that.
You just blocked it out of your memory because you were just so traumatized by it.
Probably did.
So what can we expect out of Packerland CrossFit for the rest of the year? I know that you probably already touched on that, but also where can we find you and how can people get involved with you guys, even if they're not near you guys?
Beautiful. You can find us on Facebook, Packerland CrossFit, Packerland, all one word. Or you can find us on social media. It's at Packerland CrossFit. In between Packerland is _ CrossFit. That's the easiest way to keep up to date what we're doing and what the stuff that we're diving into. But I think this next year you're going to see a lot of different things from us. Ty has been doing an amazing job with his online services for kids, the in-home gym class with Behavior Change Collective, and I think you're going to see a lot more of us trying to help out, children. Also helping out a lot more with the community, especially with what we're doing. I know for myself, I want to start a fundraiser to help out local businesses. That's what our virtual class was today. It was to help out myself and GenStar. So that's going to be awesome. And also we're going to be hopefully partnering with a few more PTs as well to provide more services or seminars. Also in the process of developing a podcast, which is going to be really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, another way to try to get information out there.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting big things from us, and we also have great coaches who have helped me out so much and free up my time. So I'm expecting them to take a leap forward and just continue to kick some ass. So
Woo,
I can't wait for that.
Yeah. So before we dive into the Sheng Game, we do have a question that came through. What is your favorite cheat meal? Probably Mexican food.
Does it have to be one?
It says favorite cheat meal.
Can I do meal? I'm gonna do meals. Number one is going to be Buffalo Wild Wings. They're boneless wings. Dry rub and their Asian zing. Oh my God. I can eat that. Oh my God. All the time. It's so good. 2, shout out to Black Honey Hashery, another local restaurant. Their breakfast burrito. I could eat that every single day and never complain. I've actually been there 5 days straight one time. Right next door to us, so guilty as charged. Sometimes I would forget my breakfast on purpose, so I'd have to eat there. And then probably my next one, this one's gonna be really weird, and I haven't done it in a really long time, but it's peanut butter and jelly on our tortilla. Literally, thank goodness we don't buy Jif anymore. We buy the all natural almond butter.
Yeah.
But if you take Jif and Smucker's jam jelly and put it on a regular tortilla and roll that sucker up, I guarantee you're going to have at least 4 to 5 of them and not even think twice.
Nice. Don't tell Garrett that because he probably will. He loves that stuff.
Oh my God. So good. So good.
All right. Okay. Are you ready for the Sheng Game? Thank you for answering that too, by the way.
Yeah. Bring it on.
Okay. So there's not that many.
Time out.
Yeah.
Is there a way I can win this game, or is it just like
you lose every time? Just kidding.
All right.
I'm kidding. So the Sheng Game is basically, they're just like icebreaker questions. I asked them really quick. I only have 5 for you. They're not super telling about who you really are to the rest of the world because I already know that. But they're pretty easy to answer. It's just 5 of them, and then if you want to jam out, we can. So, okay, ready?
Let's go. Bring it.
Okay. If you had to switch lives with someone in the world, who would it be and why?
Matt Fraser. Because he's a 4-time in a row CrossFit Games champion, and I think it'd be really cool to be sponsored by Nike. Yeah, I mean, probably not a lot of people know him, but I think that'd be really cool.
Okay, awesome.
Just to be like the best athlete in your sport, be cool.
If you could choose one superhuman power, what would that be?
Fly.
Why?
Easy. Why?
Why fly?
Because if I wanted to get from here to there, I'd be like, all right, bye, boom, gone. And I can do the cool thing that Superman does, like how he goes faster. All he does is like, and then he just goes faster.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no more 10,000 steps. Talk about like 10,000 feet in the air.
Or when Whitney's making like Mexican fried rice and you want to get home, you can just be like there
Exactly.
in a second.
I can bypass all the traffic and just get there.
Right. That's a good one. If your house is on fire, what is one thing you'd save, assuming Wit and both pups are out?
Oh,
Both Willow and Diesel are out.
Thank God you said that, because I was literally gonna pick Diesel before I picked anybody else. Oh
no, we're assuming Wit that you're out and both pups are out as well. What is one thing you'd save?
I'd save. This is a really good one. I mean, you'd think I would save my guitar, but like I probably wouldn't. I don't know if I'd save anything. I'd say if I had to say something, I would say my guitar.
Okay.
Or I would say this book. It's a huge shout out to George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, Game of Thrones.
Throne of Swords, because I want to finish it. It's like 1,000 pages long, so I guess that.
Okay. All right. If you had to eliminate one of these from your life, what would it be? Don't kill me for this one. So number 1, Mexican food. Number 2, Dave Matthews Band music. Sorry. Number 3, all of country music.
That's it?
That's it. One of them 3 you gotta eliminate for the rest of your life.
Holy shoot. I would probably eliminate all of country music. Because I would still have Dave and not have Mexican food. So I'm okay with Dave because I can listen to Dave all the time.
Yeah.
And just where the country music is going right now, how poppy it is, I'm not a fan. So
yeah,
I think
you like the classic country. You don't like today's music. Yeah.
Yep. You got it, sister.
Yep. Okay, so since you're quarantined, and this is kind of similar to the question before, name 3 things, not people or pets, because obviously it'd be Whitney and the puppies, I'm sure. Name 3 things you need to have to keep from going crazy, being quarantined.
A good book. The Green Bay Packers. Now I can watch every game since 2009 on the NFL Game Network Pass. So yeah, shout out for them for giving out for free till May 31st. So yes.
Nice.
Good book. That 3 things.
Yeah.
They keep me from going crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, coffee for sure.
Okay.
Gotta be coffee. I mean, I have to start my day every day with coffee.
Okay, that's fair.
That.
Right? Questions weren't so bad.
No, they weren't so bad.
So I guess before I let you go today, I mean, thank you for doing this too. This means so much. It's just a crazy time that we're in right now, and just the fact that you're willing to take out time is awesome and means a lot to me. So thanks for being here. But did you still really want to play Zach Brown Band for everybody?
That was up to, I don't know. That was up to you guys. I don't have to.
Okay, maybe we could do that for a different one.
Yeah.
And I'll actually, maybe if you're cool with it, I might actually just share the link for the one that you did do for your dad. That one I watch all the time. That one's awesome.
Go ahead. That'll work.
All right. Okay. Well, I appreciate you and your time. And tell Whit, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Well, I want to say bye to you guys. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, I'll come over there.
Thank you for having me on.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Bye, Sheng.
So, hey, bye.
You.
Miss you guys.
Thank you,
Miss
Sheng.
you.
Yeah.
Miss
Have a
you.
good
Let's
night,
get
you guys.
together when this is all over.
Yes. Hopefully. We'll play that game you wanted us to play online.
Yes,
Yeah.
dude. Quiplash.
Quiplash.
Yeah, we should do that.
You'd be good at that. You'd be good at it.
Yep.
My answers would be picked by Derek every time, I think.
100%.
100%.
You guys would gang up on me.
Probably.
Picking each other's answers.
Probably.
Yours is gonna be like super nice. So it's gonna be like unicorns.
No, they're
me and
not.
Derek's
They're
gonna
not.
be like rated X.
He's surprised by me.
It's no hold bars. My mom
Really?
even. My
His
mom.
mom's a savage.
My mom's a savage.
Lori, if you're watching, you're a savage.
Yeah, she starts going real hard.
Well, that makes sense because she obviously, that's where you get it from, probably.
Yeah.
Three more.
3 psychopaths.
All right. See you guys. Thank you so much. Bye, Facebook world.
Thanks, Sheng.
Bye.
Bye, Facebook world.
Bye.